All right, good morning, good morning. All right. Man, when I was doing my pre-morning open routine here, what a beautiful two-legged pullback to the moving average here on this quick move back down. I don't normally trade not within the market at open hours, so I was like, but yeah, beauty trade did give full extension. On our daily chart, we've achieved, what we were looking to do yesterday. We haven't broken up over this swing quite yet. In fact, we did get a decent amount of volatility here early morning this morning, kind of spiked up and then came right back down. So, not too sure about that. We do have an economic release at 11. So gonna be patient for that. If I am looking for a position around that time, I probably will sit on my hands. Opening with a small gap up. We did have quite a pump there at the end of the day yesterday, and a very bullish day yesterday. We did have some good news too about the Omicron vaccines are supposedly doing well against it. So we have positive COVID news, which the market always likes. Got our gap fill right away. A two-legged pullback still firing nicely. Like, that was the original anticipation, was you'd get a move down below here, but you just got now. And we were actually able to trail the small swing points that it gave the whole time without ever getting pinged out. So it was a great trade. That would have been your final profit target down through here. We did have kind of a little cheeky reversal happening here on the hourly. We did make a new high this morning for trend continuation, and it got rejected instantly. We're actually at that swing low right now. I think it actually just checked below it. Big 2-bar off that, gap fill zone. Not sure though how much, like, this specifically is making me very cautious. That was the first trend line break, made a new high and immediately rejected. So I'm gonna be cautious for longs for now. Got a little bit of follow through so far. So my goal for today is to not FOMO into anything again. Been doing well at that. And finished my review finally. Cleaned up my couple strategies. And my goal is to literally take every one of those that presents perfectly, only if it presents perfectly, and then also manage it the way that I have defined a little bit better. Need to start to get more consistent with the way that I manage the open trade. Kind of rolling over a little bit there. See if we can regain. This was a pretty big, quick 2-bar, but the larger time frame patterns are quite bearish right now, so I'm a little, well, the hourly is mainly what I'm looking at. It looks very toppy. I think a little bit of a pullback could absolutely happen today. Retest some of the stuff that we've gained. It's kind of where my thoughts are for the day. We'll see how it starts to play out. Morning, man. How are you? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 8 seconds. Let's go. It's a good way to start the day. My trade setup so far happened pre-market right there, but wasn't ready to take a trade at that point in time. I don't normally trade pre-market, so. But I was getting ready and I saw it and I was like, man, that looks so good. All right, test a little bit lower. We've got a 1 timing push right now. Coming back, checking the moving average. Oh, a little bit. No low one set up here. We broke into a little bit of liquidity there, and it definitely held. Nice inside candle. Immediate push the other way after that check below. That's pretty strong looking, quite bullish. Plus we had the shooting star at the end of it as an inside candle. Ooh, it's good. Good false signal. No follow through. Instant squeeze the other way. Yeah, pre-announcements. Yep. I guess there's almost always, or not almost always, there's very frequently stuff that comes out at 9:30 for me. So it's like 9:30 and then 11 are the common times. Straight back up. We break above 90 here. I would assume so. We're trying, we're still holding on. That big of a push back up, I would expect it to break above that high. Oh, check below. Man, if it holds that swing low within one tick like that, sheesh. I like that it tried to sell off, it got bought up, and then they dumped it again. Went a little bit lower and then bought it straight back up. Like, it's kind of like, that's kind of the W, right? It tries once and then they go a little bit lower and then do it again. It is struggling here, that's for sure. Still haven't broke above. So we went one tick above our current high, not this one though, and it's trying to sell off again. Crazy. We have like a little breakout pattern, little like flagging happening here, and it's, I mean, it's trying to fail. It went up one more tick and kind of rolled over. Now we're getting sells step in. The pattern makes me want to short as like a failure top pattern here, but I'm like this other time frame from what just happened, I don't really want to. Although we are bumping our head into the moving average and stuff still, could just be major volatility right here. Then it goes back down. I don't know. I don't 100% have conviction, so I'm just gonna chill. There it comes. Let's try it. Still sitting to the tick. Still hasn't broken. It's trying so hard. There we go. Let's see if we can hold what we've gained. Well, it almost made it back to test it, and it's trying to go higher already. It's a good sign. Little doji close after a big push. It only went one tick lower. We got a doji, and then we kind of have like a little, maybe a hanging man slightly. This could be a little bit top heavy here. We might get a pullback. Didn't check above it yet. Double top. Yep. There's our top heavy. There's our pullback. Great mean reversion setup right there. I was ready if it poked like above first, but it didn't. I guess accepting the double top would be okay too if I were to trade it from the low. It's the only way though. Straight back to the moving average, test these tops. I will be honest though and say that even though we had bullish price action, you know, I'm still kind of on the fence. I don't like this pattern on the hourly. It's proven me wrong a couple times now so far, but Just in my head, that's what it's telling me. Excuse me. Circle that for the review. I mean, I like it. This is a nice volatility spike, kind of maybe baiting in some longs for this to ultimately keep going lower. Definitely couldn't even regain and hold the moving average quickly. We definitely have momentum ignition now to the downside. There was trapped longs for sure. If I got a low one signal right now, I would take it on a small pullback. Specifically because I'm thinking that there's, like, you know, trapped longs. First instance to get back out, they're gonna be like, oh, I should ditch this maybe. It's my thought process anyway. It makes sense. And the coffee's kicking my ass fast this morning. I already gotta pee. One tick higher. Hitting that moving average. Be urgency here, right? Got a bad fill there. Oof. It's all right. I wanted it. Didn't really execute that all that good, but it's all right. So the low one off the moving average was a trap. Squeezed us out right away. So 5-minute pullback hit the perfect liquidity area on the 1-minute chart. Whoops. So she wasn't primed quite yet. That trade looked really good, even though it did squeeze me out right away. That was, whoops, as good a presentation as I could have gotten. That snap though, let's see. To me, that kind of almost looks like it was a trap, and maybe we will come back up, or maybe it just needed a little bit more liquidity. Let's see here. 5-minute came up. Looks like it failed its retest. Risk point's too far away now, so nothing for me to do here. Well, presentation wise, on the 5-minute, it makes sense to what's happening. It looks a little goofy on the 1-minute. My stop out tells me a key piece of information for sure. We know there's strong sellers above, and there's definitely strong buyers below so far. This actually seems like the perfect opportunity for me to go to the washroom. I'll be right back. Still trying to climb up. Which, after my stop out, that was the piece of information that I had gathered. I lost confidence in the short because that definitely was a great setup. It couldn't have presented any better for that setup for me. So it getting stopped out instantly like that was, I got caught in the liquidity for sure. Like, I provided it. They squeezed us quickly. Gotta just chill now. Little double top action. There's an ascending line of demand here for sure. Whether it continues. Trying to go through it right now. Yes, sir. Right off that double top. Visually, I mean, I wouldn't really be a long buyer down here. Not now. I'd rather it be lower. But I mean, this move up and then this rejection, we might see much lower. Kind of play into the larger time frame better now. Hey man, we got my trade only took 8 seconds as well. It just gave me a different result. Oh, 5 seconds, man. Woo! Ooh, quick flicker sell there off that double top. Teased the double top off that moving average and then never fired. I'm back up. Tag the moving average exactly so far. It's a big 2R. My oh my. Two-legged pullback. Huge signal candle though. gave a cheap short entry, but off of that signal, but never fired first. And like the fact that we went all the way back up there, I mean, trying to be a little bit extra cautious. So I was already shown that we're kind of choppy down here, didn't have enough, you know, follow through quickly, so should have gotten it here or definitely from here, and we just we're not following through as much as I would have expected, as quickly as I would have expected. So trying to be patient. There's a trigger. Finally. That is respecting the moving average. But as much as I wanted to hit the limit button and take this cheaper short opportunity off of this signal trigger, I'm just not. It's not like having follow through like it should. And we've already been shown once that this zone here is not reacting like it should, for how I'd like to see. So chill and wait for a better condition. We're just coiling here. Which does kind of make sense. If you look at the price action on the day so far, we're checking lower lows and we're checking higher highs. Right back down. Was on board with everything until we were given this information here that the follow through didn't continue. So now it's super choppy. We're big chilling. Little doji candle on the break above here. Now we've got a hanging man. Still hasn't broken back above the 91 high that pushed this low. But oh, there we go. Checked above it by 1 tick so far. Yeah, I will be honest, this price action now has thrown me for a loop. I did not expect this recovery at all. While it's pushing down, I mean, on the 5-minute chart, you could say it's checking, like, you know, some liquidity, some stop outs, but at the same time, not really giving me what I want to see anymore at all, actually. I know I keep saying that a lot, but it's me trying to remind myself to not FOMO into a trade here, because the conditions really are not correct for what I'm trying to do. But the higher this thing climbs back up, it just looks like we ended up reversing and back testing our spring, and now we're trying to climb back up. Yeah, it is. I was totally on board with the price action until this stuff happened, and then that told me to be super careful, because now it didn't react like I expected off of that, you know, quick move back down. And that was a really good analysis too, because after I got stopped out, like, I always design my stop outs to it's giving me information both ways, and that told me to be very careful with the next trend extension trades. And look what ended up happening. We went straight nasty range sideways. It's baited in a lot of trades for me, I'm not going to be honest, and they all would have lost now in this tight little range. So I'm glad that I was able to, you know, understand to not be looking for big trend extension trades right now, and to sit on my hands, because we were in some weirdness. So that's growth. That's growth. Yay, me. I didn't take 4 or 5 trades in the small range and just get chopped up a whole bunch of times. So I'll just wait. See if a better opportunity presents as the day goes on. This market little spike at the open did help me in the cryptocurrency market though. I had a nice Bitcoin long going into open, and it hit both profit targets very quickly, like way faster than I expected, because the trade was on the 15-minute chart, so it actually fully filled everything in 2 candles. I was quite surprised. Sellers stepping back in here a little bit, or are we just coming down to check the low of this range basically that we're creating? Oh, we did make a new low a little bit. Right after we made a little bit of a high. Kind of got like some expanding triangle, expanding wedge action going on, which is like my nemesis. All the way down, check low a day. Maybe sellers have stepped back in. Yo, I totally actually just noticed that I completely lost track here of what time it was. There was an economic release that came out at 11, and I literally took the position at 10:59 into 11. That was 100% my mistake. Even after I had said earlier that I wasn't going to do that, when that move stepped in, it looked so good, I completely lost focus. Wow, I didn't even realize that. That was a my bad. I literally didn't pay attention to the time at all there. I got so zoned in on that trade setup. Yep. I flubbed the bag on the economic calendar. I had those 2 events like marked out, and yeah, I really completely disregarded them, especially that first one, man. Right when the Jolt job openings was coming out, I took that position literally 30 seconds into it. That was 100% my bad. Just lost focus. Got too zoned, man. Forgot. Haven't done that in a long time, but good reminder. Choppy range, same thing happening, right back up into the dead middle of the range. I got kind of scuffed fills too because of like the trade actually got filled at the 11 o'clock and exited in the 11 o'clock, like literally that 5 seconds of volatility like nailed me in both ways. It was a good reminder. I was just too excited. When I finished my review yesterday, I took my 3 strategies that I have and I cleaned them up. There was like reoccurring themes in pretty much all of them that I noticed over and over. So I added more to the strategy, like more, so it's more defined. There's less decision making to make. On like, you know, the exact entry condition and the how I'm managing the trade once I'm in it. So it felt really good to finish that. And then when I got that opportunity, like how I wanted to see it, I was like, let's get it. Completely disregarding that 11 o'clock. But that's all right. Live and learn. Our test back up in brought us all the way back down. Low 1 opportunity right there off the moving average. Not quite enough candles in a row for me. They were just really big again because, like you said, the economic release came out right then. We haven't had a real range day in quite a few days. We've had big trend days for a lot in a row. tight congestion here. Still big chillin'. Maybe we pick up some momentum to the downside on this break, but we might just find, you know, more buyers and this market just keeps ranging. Seems to like to be doing that so far. Just as soon as I say that, right back up into volume again. $79. Yep. I mean, it looks like it wants to go down, like it keeps, you know, just checking the liquidity and going back. It just so choppy and rangy. I'm scared. A nice 2-bar though, kind of setting up there. Rejected that liquidity check above right off the moving average for you. If it works, in theory, you'd get a new low a day. Nice. It's reacting off that moving average again. Looking more and more juicy. You might get a low day here. Nice, there you go. Hell yeah. Good trade. I liked that it had popped up and like checked that liquidity and then failed. That was a nice 2-bar off of that like event that was happening. It's a mighty big 2-bar with a 1-tick poke too. Off a new low a day break. Looks very bullish. You didn't have to wait too long to get your fill, like 4 or 5 minutes ish. But yeah, it was pretty congested through there. This looks very strong for like a mean reversion. Trigger happened. Might be able to take that right back to the moving average up here, which would then reverse the 5-minute chart back up into the middle. Ah, 4 minutes. There you go. I like the looks of this mean reversion trade, but the candle's so big. We haven't had huge momentum to the downside, so I'm still leaning towards potential range and, you know, fading extremes. And it's got a nice pattern on the extreme, but the entry was so big. A wick test down here. Giving me the entry, but the fact that it is makes me not like it looks questionable. Went down quite a bit lower. If this wouldn't have sold off as far as it did through here, I'd be more apt to. I'm going to see if it goes for a low one more time. Did have an exhaustion push. It's bigger than these ones. Inside bar. can test a little bit underneath. It's a double bottom. Oh, all right. A little bit of a stop slide there. Lots of people got long caught there apparently. Glad I didn't FOMO into that. Almost did, but then I asked myself, is it 1, 2, or 3? Is it strategy 1, 2, or 3? And my answer in myself was no, it's really not. So didn't do it. Ideally, the strategy is to buy over the 2-bar, but the 2-bar was so big that I couldn't. And then when it gave that deep of a retrace, it's like, I mean, the 2-bar looks like it's kind of failed at the moving average at this point. Probably gonna go lower. I was actually watching this pattern here, and if this would have developed a slightly different pattern, I could have risked off of that for exhaustion push, small inside, 1 tick below, reverse, close above that inside small candle. That would have been a great entry, but it never happened that way there. It actually went for the breakout method. So still no trade. No short off of the moving average. Wasn't a two-legged pullback. Couldn't trade the low one. Yeah, no setups. Close. But not quite. Well, I think this is the perfect time then to refill my coffee. Not going to be any low one opportunities. It'd be a few minutes before I potentially get anything this current action. So yeah, I will be right back. All right, sorry about that. Put some wood in the fire, went to the bathroom, got some coffee, did everything all in one. So we have continued our push down after what we kind of, thought this morning. Took a little bit to get there, but did follow through. We have another swing point here, but I'm not super keen on it. Really, this range down here is going to be important. Now that we've rejected, I expect maybe a two-legged correction. Let's see. mean, it looks like we're trying to find a little bit of a buy up, but we are still bumping our heads on this moving average. Still actually hasn't broken above the previous swing. Oh, is it gonna do it right here? For how rangy we were most of the day, we have extended pretty far away from the moving average and, you know, from the mean of the day. Inside stall. Double inside. Bit of flagging happening here. Right above this moving average, it's curling up. Makes sense. Looks like we are trying to come back up in a little bit. We were starting to get a little ways away from our average. even though we did have a little bit of extension down, the day so far was quite rangy. I'm not surprised to see it try to come back up in and not accelerate to the downside, at least yet. Didn't get a clean setup down there. But this does look fairly clean. Definitely be some more aggressive shorts that were late to the party, getting squeezed out here. I mean, this looks not bad, really. We hold this moving average, or does the short actually roll over? Came back up into the previous range that pushed our low. Didn't even quite make it to the moving average yet. Got 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle. Currently it's you know, pretty clean 2-bar out of that other previous ranged area that pushed our lows. I think if this holds here, we come back up, make a slightly higher high with a rejection signal that would line up with potentially, I guess this didn't actually pull back yet. Two-legged pullback to the moving average would be better. Would be better. But again, that would be a setup for trend continuation to the downside, and maybe that's not the right approach right now. Trend continuation to the downside is not, I guess the last little bit's been okay, but I could tell, I could feel today's market not being very nice to my trading, because normally by the end of the day I'd have a lot of stuff circled that I wanted to discuss, and really the only thing I have circled is the trade that I took that was a mistake because of the I took it into the 11 o'clock announcement, and this guy up here was a beautiful mean reversion trade, but he didn't one tick poke first, double topped, and I have nothing else. So far, there was a nice 2-bar on the 5-minute chart right here at like 9 o'clock this morning. It was beauty. That's been it. Yeah, and it's good though. It's good practice, like discipline for me to, like, this never used to be a concept to me. I would always force trades. So even though I am finishing red, I mean, the red trade was a mistake, 100%. That was my fault. But not getting a bunch of signals or trades, it you know, I'm okay with it because I'm seeing more and more that if I'm patient on these days, the days that I do get lots of signals, those are the days I need to like convince myself to take multiple trades that set up nicely. And that's it's a turning point in my journey, but I haven't like fully turned that page yet. Like I'm working on it, and I know that it's happening. I can feel it, like the muscle growing, like the discipline growing, that, you know, on the days that it doesn't line up well, it's okay to sit on my hands, because tomorrow or maybe the next day, maybe I'll get a couple good opportunities. But if I would have flubbed the bag a whole bunch of times today, tomorrow would be very difficult for me. So, you know, it's good. It feels good. Even though I'm not green on the day, I do feel good at the, like, coming towards the end of the session. The worst feeling for me is when I get to the end of the session and I feel like incomplete. Like I feel like I just didn't, whatever makes me feel incomplete, whether it's I didn't perform well, maybe I made a lot of mistakes, maybe, you know, I took a whole bunch of losing trades that were mistakes. It like that type of day at the end of it for me, or even if I had a really slow day that like I didn't take trades, but there was a lot of trades that happened properly and I didn't take them, that gives me the same feeling, probably even a worse feeling, like just that incomplete feeling that makes you want to like not walk away after the trading session is done. You still feel like you're like, oh, I want to sit here for like the afternoon as well and like really be ready. And it's like, I hate that feeling. That is a very, like, and it never results in good things ever. So I'm trying to create practices that eliminate that feeling at the end of the day. And by doing, basically my goal is, this is my objective for the day. Did I do my objective for the day? You know, did I take the trades that I was supposed to take, and did I not take the trades that I should have taken? Yes. Okay. Great trading day, regardless of the results. Doesn't matter if it was winning day or losing day. Did I do what I was supposed to? Yes. Okay. Great day. That's where I'm at right now. That's the page I'm trying to turn and create, so that and as soon as I can like achieve sitting on my hands successfully in days that aren't that great for me, and then all of a sudden having a day that does line up nicely for me and I do successfully pull the trigger multiple times, and like, you know, I create that new feeling. I've yet to like actually successfully do that. That will help like make that feeling stronger. I feel when I successfully accomplish those two things together, then it'll allow me to try to do that. Like, I'll know that that's how it works, and I'll be able to do it again. You know, I'll be okay with sitting on my hands more, because I know that when the conditions are better, I can do well. But I've never successfully done those things together yet to create that next step. So it's really what I'm working on. So we got our second leg going here. We've got our two-legged pullback to the moving average, but it's fairly aggressive. It's a lot steeper, a lot more demand than like this one, for example. This was the good two-legged pullback to the moving average. This looks very different. This looks like I'm probably going to come up and break above this line, and you know, maybe our range day is going to come. We're coming back into volume, and the presentation is not the same. This was a good area to get long. It would have presented a little bit differently. It was we have that like pretty much one-time push straight up, and that first pullback back to that moving average, you know, it's a good area to get in that opposite position because of the trap traders. We had, you know, the same theory, lots of late shorts, they're getting out quickly, people are getting long. First pullback, anybody who hasn't adjusted yet is really trying to adjust quickly, and then the continuation to the up squeezes the last people that probably moved their stop and blah 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 to really try to get out of their shorts. But I only have two methods of getting in, either a high 1 or high 2. High 1, I have to have X amount of candles in a row to get in. It was close, but not quite, because we did get some congestion here. So the trade setup originally kind of happened here, but it wasn't enough in a row. So then when this one happened, I'd look for a two-legged pullback, which again, it never happened. There wasn't a single candle who went higher first and then went again. So no real setup. Good area, good ideas and everything. The context was there, but the signal setup did not happen the way that I would need to see it. So we've achieved what we were trying to do. Came back up right into volume, broke above that 5-minute swing point that recently pushed our low. Got some big profit taking, big short selling maybe from that level, but that was the objective of that turnaround. That was a fairly aggressive reaction. Oh, did we? It is sensitive today, I agree. I was like, I mean, I absolutely would expect profit taking and stuff to happen up here in this liquidity area above that swing, but that was pretty quick, pretty it's aggressive for sure. And then it kind of teased a little buy up, did the second dump with one tick and started to buy up again. That's like, you know, kind of teasing longs. It never came up and closed above though or anything for a good long signal for me, but now we're just like sideways again. Really nasty. Oh, I think I'm probably just gonna walk away. I think that's what I should do. My second Bitcoin trade just got filled, so I'm completely flat now in both markets. So I think that's probably a great time for me to stop. Didn't get any signals today other than the one that I did take and made a slight mistake on. The timing was so zoned in and focused on that price action, I completely forgot about the economic release, so my fault. And there was nothing other than that. I did enjoy the looks of this quite a bit, especially because we knew we had quite negative context on the day. It's very often that the market goes in a direction and then, you know, tests some liquidity points and then ultimately fades back off into the overall trend. So that was kind of what I was playing into here big time. We had our nice exhaustion bar, the last big push, closed right at its extreme. We had a little doji bar, then a hanging man, and then the instant rejection off the double top. Great mean reversion trade right back into the volume. Would have taken it right back to the moving average. However, I would have been looking for it to go one tick more and then come back in. I've been saying that a lot lately. Seems like these patterns, I'm still not adjusting it yet, but these patterns, when they happen off a double top, also work just as well. And maybe I'm a little bit too picky. When they present that well, you know, I could trade it the same way. But for now, not making that adjustment, just still recording that it is happening. And we talked about this one, and then there was literally nothing else that I really wanted. I almost FOMO'd long here, but I didn't, because I sat back and I waited a second and I said, you know, these are the three strategies. Is this 1, 2, or 3? And it was not. So no trade, which is phenomenal discipline. Good job on that. And yeah, there was nothing else that really stepped in and was like, you know, you want this trade. There was nothing. I was reading the price action through here, anticipating that these were good long locations. However, it didn't quite set up exactly how we needed to see. But this plays into the concept that I was noticing happening over and over and over in the review that I did, was that the low one and high one opportunities work best when the market is reversing. So we had like a nice push down. We had a quick move back the other way, signaling that there is trapped traders. The exact same concept that I was applying here. This was just, you know, the timing was off because of the 11 o'clock announcement. But here, right, we've been going down. We quickly reversed back up. That first pullback to the moving average and the first stall, there's going to be a lot of people adjusting, and it really worked out again. However, it wasn't the perfect presentation of how I needed to see it for the high one or the high two. So unfortunately, no trade signals. Good context, no trade signal. But other than that, that was it. That was actually the only trade. And I mean, looking at the market today, it's pretty nasty looking. So, you know, I'll take my L that we flubbed on, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow morning. Feels really good though. I do feel like I did what I was supposed to this session, other than that one mistake, but not FOMOing, not taking the trades that I shouldn't have taken, and really like watching and waiting for the trades that I did want. It just, you know, didn't really present today, and that's okay. We didn't lose a whole bunch, so that's good. And yeah, thanks one time. You have yourself a good day, man, and we will see you tomorrow as well. I'll show you, I'll drag this on my screen real quick here. I ended up buying this dip down here. As soon as we broke up underneath here and started to buy up off of this, you know, W forming, we had broke back above the swing. I really liked it. So on this pullback, I bought long. My target initially was just here. And I took half of the position out right there. And then I had the other half sitting up here. And to be honest, because it spiked so fast, I was like, I closed I closed that. I was like, I'll try to let the other half run more. And then as it started to fail up here, I ended up closing it out. So basically where the second half was, I think it averaged out to be like 3 and a little bit to 1 was what the trade ended up. And then I reversed it right here because I knew that we had broken into bigger liquidity. This is my beautiful top pattern that I like, right? You get your big exhaustion bar, small inside, goes to break above, rejects instantly, closed at its low. I went short, and I was just looking to fade that short back to the top of this accumulation area right here for a 1.5 to 1, and it filled it right there. So those were my 2 Bitcoin trades. But yeah, have yourself a good day, man, and I will see you tomorrow.